I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is just a podcast. So, I was supposed to go to the doctor yesterday, if you're paying attention to what's going on, but the doctor set an appointment for a holiday. When I called them yesterday, I got their answering service. So today I called them, I'm sure it was ringing before they even turned the second they turned it on, I was ringing. They didn't have any openings today, so I'm going in tomorrow. The saga continues. And then I'm thinking if it was something really bad, I'd be in there today, be worried about it. So I'm going to be okay. Anyhow, so I want to get with you and talk with you a little bit this morning. I saw all these, I could literally talk about every single comment and do a podcast about it, just a comment. They're that important to me. They really are. A couple I want to read. I want to read one first, and then Susan. This one I just want to read. It's a good friend of mine. I love the guy. And then after, I'm going to talk about read the one that's kind of be the focus of this podcast. First one's from Michael Moran. What a good guy. Hey there, buddy. I hope you're doing well. You know you're in my prayers. I need to tell you this. I have never seen you in real life, never shaken your hand, but Johnny, I am blessed for having you and your father in my life. To me, I can't really explain the connection I had when I first saw that video of you and your dad, except that I enjoyed you and the great relationship you had with your father. I wish I had that close relationship with my father. I miss your father. I know you do too, buddy. I'm not trying to bring you down, just the opposite, you know? I love you, pal. God bless you in my prayers always. Good news for you tomorrow. Apropos, it fits today. I'm going to get good news tomorrow. That's Michael Moran. Michael's a great dude. He's had some real heavy health problems, but he's just a fighter, a good guy. I love you, dude. You guys keep him in your prayers today. He's a good man. But the one I want to do, and I miss my dad too. You know, the funny thing is, we all have a dad. We're all going to lose him. I'm not the only one. There's so many people who had worse heartache in their life than me, you know. But anyway, this is the one I want to focus on. It's by Mohsin Duragi. It says, Johnny, I have a question. You are talking about forgiveness. This is a really important one for everybody. I have not spoken to my mom for about a month now because I wanted her to apologize, and I would have forgiven her. Still, I have no grudge toward her. I can just not trust her with all the lies and tricks. Now I heard that she went to the hospital today for some nerve-related migraine. What do you think I should do? She may be upset that I didn't communicate with her, but I can't trust her. I'm not stupid. That's heavy. That's a tough situation if it's a sibling. You know, one of your, like a brother or sister that's having issues like that. But when it's a parent, it's, you know, I've never been there, but the principles are all the same. I think it's funny. Forgiveness, it's, you know, if you ask a lot of people, should I forgive somebody? Who is that forgiveness for, you know? Forgiveness isn't for your mom. It's for you. Now, it's a different situation when you're in if it's a situation where it's constantly repeating, the pattern is repeating over and over again, you can sort of see it coming. That adds a lot of frustration to it. It's like, here we go, I knew it. One of those kind of situations. So, you know, I don't know. You know, it's a tough one because I don't know all the details, but I would try to establish good boundaries. I'm not a doctor. I need one. But you know, nobody knows when. Every single human being, whether you watch us fear or not, we all have an appointment with death. Every one of us. Nobody escapes it. Can you imagine what would have happened? Even if you're at odds with your mom, for real, even if you're at terrible odds with your mom, can you imagine, just for a moment, God forbid, something were to happen to you or to her? Imagine something happened to you and you're in this state where you haven't forgiven your mom, but then your mom totally gets on the right track, gets her life straight, and then has to live with this, you know? I'm giving her a lot of credit that she could do those things, but you don't know if she couldn't, you know? So, you know, I know people who didn't get a chance to say goodbye. Now, it doesn't mean the next phone call is going to be you saying goodbye. It's your call. But, you know, really great piece of, I think it's from the Bible. It says, don't let the sun set on your anger. That's really good. I talk all the time here about, when does your day start? I used to do this with my kids when they were little. I'd say to the kids, when does your day start? So tomorrow when the sun comes up. No, it doesn't. It starts tonight when we go to bed. They look at me like I was crazy. But how you go to bed determines what kind of day you're going to have. If you don't believe me, try this. If you have children, tell them when they go to bed tonight, you're not going to believe it. Tomorrow is going to be a really great day. They will wake up differently. I kid you not. You know, and adults, we're the same way, but the forgiveness is so heavy. It's not for her that you're doing the forgiveness. Let's say you have a beef with somebody, you don't forgive them. Do you think that throughout their life, the fact that you haven't forgiven them for that beef is on their mind? It's not on their radar. It's not even close to their mind. They don't think about it. And if you're thinking about it, they're living in your head rent-free. So forgiveness, it's for you. It's for the person doing the forgiving. What was the movie? Devil's Advocate, Al Pacino, Keanu Reeves, great movie. Al Pacino runs a law firm. He's the devil's son. Nobody knows it yet until revealed at the very end. But at some point he goes, what are you carrying around that guilt for? It's like luggage. Put it down. Letting somebody in your head rent free is like that. Put it down. Don't let them do that. So I bet, you know, even though I haven't had a parent who I've had that sort of relationship before, I've had people in my life, family, where it was a tough situation where you knew if you said I forgive you, you're going to be saying it again. You know, it's like, and it's tough. It's a hard thing to do. At some point, you got to protect yourself. So if you have somebody who's doing the same thing over and over again, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior, right? They've always been doing this, you can kind of expect that. So if you kind of sense it's coming, you got to protect yourself, you know? But, you know, time is short. I've had beefs with people where I didn't talk to somebody for a really long time, and it's just foolish, you know? This is a good example. I had beef with my dad, and I didn't go a long time, but I went months and months without saying a word to him. Can you imagine what would have happened if something had happened to my dad during that moment? Who's worried about forgiveness then? You know? So, you know, we only have one trip, and it's short. You blink and it's over. You guys understand? Listen, I'm 56. I was 16 years old yesterday. I don't know what happened. I don't. You know, I spent my whole life wishing time away. I can't wait for this. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for this. I'm 56, so what happened? Live in the moment, you know? But living in the moment is understanding that the time to forgive is like the moment you're wronged. That's what I do. The minute somebody wrongs me, they're forgiven already. You know why? Because I'm forgiven. It's a tough situation when it's your parent. You know what I mean? It kind of seems like the roles are reversed. You should be the one screwing up, that they should be saying, oh, I forgive you again. But it's weird when it's reversed and it's your parent doing it. Pray for you. It's a tough one. It really is. Got a doctor I'd like to refer you to. It's a tough one, but it has to be dealt with because, you know, regret's a drag. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying in yesterday's video. People on their deathbed, like the most common thing they say on their deathbed is, I forgive you, or do you forgive me? Do you really want to wait until your last couple breaths to deal with that problem? Take it. The minute somebody wrongs you, you forgive them. It's not worth carrying around the angst of not forgiving somebody. It's destructive. It's awful. It's caustic. It tears down your body. So it's really a hard one. I wish I had better, you know, I thought I'd be able to talk about it with some level of intelligence. And now that I've talked about it, I'm like, man, I didn't talk about it with any level of intelligence whatsoever. But, you know, it's just interesting dynamic. It's 10 times more important when it's your parent that's doing this. That, you know, when someone lies to you, it's ground shaking. It's like, you have to understand something though. There was a time in my life where I woke up on a Saturday, I would tell someone it was Friday just because. I went through a period of my life. It was because of the way I was living and my lifestyle at the time. I was living a lifestyle nobody could know about. I was partying my skull off and nobody could know about it. So I was doing one thing and I had to hide it. And it's interesting. It all goes back, you know what it goes back to? How's your practice? Are you practicing your practice or are you just kind of loafing through it? Work on your practice. You know, I gotta tell you something. In my life, somebody in my life would lie to me on the regular so much it got to the point where I'd avoid conversations or avoid asking questions that required an answer because I knew that the answer that was coming back wasn't going to be truthful. Just because somebody's going through in a spot like that doesn't mean that's how they are. It doesn't define who they are. The person I just told you about has become one of the finest human beings I have ever known in my life. For real. If he told me the sky was falling, I would look for shelter because if he tells you the sky is falling, it's falling. So, you know, so people can turn things around. I don't know. Pray for you and your mom. Mohsin. It was Mohsin Duragi. It's a hard one, you know, it really is. I don't know if you have any siblings, but you know what? If you have some siblings, chances are they're going through it, at least on some level, the way you are. It's such a tough one. I pray for you guys. You know what? The moral of the story in this one is forgive. Don't wait for somebody to ask for forgiveness. They may not. A lot of times when they do, you know, you don't believe, you know, when someone says they're sorry to you, sometimes you don't believe it. Don't let it go off your back. Don't major on the minors. Protect yourself though, and don't let somebody walk on you. It's a tough one. Now I've talked about it. I don't think I did a good job talking about it. Anyhow, hang in there, you guys. You know, we're all in this together. Here's the other thing that I want to say is no matter what you're going through, someone else is going through it. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about a health issue I've got. Do you think of all the people watching? I promise you, when I tell people what's going on tomorrow, there's going to be 50 comments going, yeah. You know, so, the journey we're all on. Strange, isn't it? Make the most of it. You only get one trip around, people. I'm going to wrap it up. If you have something, it's not like a Dear Abby or something, but if you have something you want me to talk about or something that you wanted me to discuss, you want my opinion on something, as long as it's not crazy divisive, I will talk about it. But reach out, go to the comment section, leave a comment in there, and we'll use your information on the next one, maybe. In the description box, you'll see all the normal stuff. I'll be at the doctor's tomorrow, so tomorrow will be an update. More videos here, you know the stuff. Love you guys. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is just a podcast.